Scarlet here, and today I thought I would do a review for you on the Wild Unknown tarot deck. This deck has been out for a while and she's come up with several additional versions of this deck due to its popularity. And I thought I would do just something a bit different with my review, because I have done a more basic blog review of this on my blog before, and I know there are a couple other YouTube videos on this deck, but I wanted to do something that more kind of delved into the symbolism and her stylistic and aesthetic choices that she made in creating this deck. This deck is created by Kim Carnes. She is a Brooklyn-based artist and said she came up with the idea and the concept for this deck when she was camping in upstate New York. And I'm actually from upstate New York, so that's pretty cool because I have been camping up there and I have, you know, had that opportunity to kind of experience, you know, upstate New York at night and her, you know, in her own words, experience the wild unknown. So let's get started. Okay, so here we have the Wild Unknown box here, and inside she includes a nice pretty satin ribbon here that helps pull the cards out. And there are the symbols of the four suits, the pentacles, swords, wands, and cups. And she also includes a small pamphlet here that gives kind of just rough descriptions on the cards and their meanings, and as well as a couple card layouts. And on the inside there's actually an artwork, which is pretty cool. She does offer a more comprehensive guide that you can buy, but I haven't got that one, so I just have this, but I'm not too worried because this is more geared towards beginners, and I've been doing tarot for a while, so I should be okay. Though there's always more to learn about tarot, which is why I like it. And I love reading these little pamphlets that a lot of decks include. So starting on the deck itself, on the back is this kind of, it's almost like an optical illusion collection of black and white lines, and it's really setting the tone for the entirety of her aesthetic, which is black and white, and then she includes pops of color. So a lot of other tarot designers actually have been doing mostly black and white decks or entirely black and white decks. So she's really jumped on that bandwagon, or maybe they've jumped on her bandwagon, and this kind of aesthetic, more minimalist style is becoming very popular. This is a lovely one right here. One of the things she does that's a bit different from other tarot decks is for the court cards, which are usually the King, Queen, Knight, and Page. She instead has a father, mother, son, and daughter. And for the four suits, they are represented by a different animal. So for the swords here, we have owls, which makes a lot of sense as the swords are associated with the air sign. And then for the water court cards, or for the cups court cards, that's a tongue twister. She uses a swan, which works perfectly because cups are associated with water. And then for the pentacles, we have a deer, which works great because pentacles are associated with the earth element. And then we have finally wands, and she uses snakes for these, and wands are associated with fire. So those are her court cards, which she does a little bit differently. And one of the other interesting things aesthetically that she does is her use of lines. And there was actually a separate YouTube video someone made, I believe her name is Carrie Malton, I'll link it in the description, where she just talks about Kim Carnes' use of lines and how she kind of has four different ways of interpreting and using these lines. So she has horizontal lines running in the background, vertical, multi-directional, and then this kind of sunburst style. And she reuses these backgrounds in terms of horizontal, vertical, multi-directional, or sunburst throughout many of her different card designs. And starting with some of the symbolism I noticed here, I wanted to go over her use of flowers. So she uses flowers a lot in her cards that I've noticed, and the main figures in her cards are animals. Human figures do not appear, so it's usually either animals or just kind of shapes, designs, repeated patterns of the different suits, or nature references. So she uses flowers a lot for her nature references, as well as trees. And a couple things I noticed in her representation of flowers here. So starting with, this should look familiar. This is on the front of her box here. This is the world card. So same design, and she's got kind of this flower pattern right here. This was a really interesting card that I like a lot. So this is the Five of Pentacles, and it shows a kind of a rose that's kind of falling apart, that's slowly dying here. And then we have the Five Pentacles at the top of this shape, and it's kind of got this like pearl pattern around it. So when I thought of this card, I wanted to compare it to the Rider-Waite card here. So it's the same thing. It's the Five of Pentacles, and this card is really all about financial loss, business problems, and spiritual bankruptcy. And there you can see they're kind of outside of a church in this card, kind of cast out outcasts, and there's this the wall of the church preventing them from the warmth of the inside. And I kind of saw a similar representation here with kind of the injured or decaying flower. And I kind of view this as a wall, so it's this great wall that you can't seem to escape, and on the edge here is this line of pearls in a way, this kind of wealth that is completely unreachable. So I wonder if she, was using this card as inspiration for this design, and if so, I think she did a really good job with that. One of the other cards that incorporates roses is the Strength card. Here we have a rose in the lion's mouth, and then I'm comparing that to the Waite tarot deck, and which has flowers around here and around her crown. And again, she uses similar symbolism with the lion, the sun in the background, and then the infinity symbol. And then one of my favorite cards here is the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups can be a omen of a marriage partnership or relationship going smoothly. So it's a very good omen. It's a very good card. And I think this is just beautiful, again, referencing that watercolor rose shape. But here the roses are upright and healthy because it's a healthy relationship for this card. And then another interesting use of flowers that I thought was very aesthetically pleasing is she uses the pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles are actually depicted as roses in this card. The next symbolism I found interesting was her use of lightning, which she does through several different cards. And I kind of see it as she interpreted lightning as a spark of change, and which makes sense for lightning. And here I have her tarot card compared with the Universal Waite tarot card for the Tower. So here it's a tree being struck with lightning, and the lightning motif is in the Waite tarot card as well. So the Tower card is really about it's not one of the best cards to get in the deck, but it's about things kind of coming apart, falling down, and kind of needing to recognize that so that you can rebuild. Like if a relationship has been bad for a while and you're suppressing it and you know what's happening and you get this card, you know, like it's about to go down, we need to reevaluate, and maybe that's okay. Maybe it's okay to try something new and to start over. So she uses that lightning motif here, and then she uses it in kind of creative ways in some of the other cards. So this here is the 5, 6, 7, 8, the 8 of Wands. And this kind of shows an action or a movement to towards your goal is what the cards representing, and kind of that burst of action, which I think is symbolized really well with the use of the lightning bolt here. She also uses the lightning bolt in her Father of Wands as well as her Ace of Swords. Another symbol that figures very prominently in her designs is the crescent moon. So this is throughout. So you can see she just keeps on using this this motif of the crescent moon over and over again. It's actually always facing the same way except for this card here, which is the Wheel of Fortune, which is one of the cards in the Major Arcana. And this card, I'm kind of not really feeling it very much. It kind of looks like it's about to fall apart, like it's somehow held together with this string, but I view the Wheel of Fortune as being something that's very strong and powerful. And so that's kind of the opposite of what I'm seeing in her design here. I kind of view the wheel as, you know, you're kind of being forced to accept the fates of destiny, and that it's a strong thing, not merely something that's held together. Though aesthetically, it's a beautiful design. It's kind of bohemian, almost looks like a dream catcher. And then another card I really liked, what she did with it, is this 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is kind of like a, you're on the road towards continued success. You kind of have a job well done, and I kind of view it as the stepping stones. The wands are used to look like steps, so you're kind of moving upwards towards your goal, which I thought was pretty creative. So those are the moons. Lots of moon imagery. Some other random creative things I noticed in her designs. Just little random things that are little but I think really make a difference. I love her use of color in the reflection of the swan here in her Daughters of Cups. I like her use of the baby bird in her interpretation of the Fool. Because the Fool is all about naivety and starting new beginnings, and it's kind of like the bird's just about to leap off and it's scary and it's new, and it kind of echoes that symbolism in the white tarot deck where he's about to fall off the cliff. So I really liked how she chose this this imagery for this card. This card here, the 4 of Wands. So it's kind of, you get this card when you've achieved a certain prosperity, and what I first thought of when I was looking at this card is it kind of looked like you're looking into the eye of the sun. So it kind of looked like a positive imagery to me, and thought it was really powerful. And then another thing is I really like how she used, for this Ace of Pentacles, she used the tree rings and the lines kind of cut into the tree rings to create that pentacle shape in the center. I thought that was pretty creative. Some of the imagery she uses is very dark, and you'll kind of see here, I really like these cards. I kind of like her more morbid cards. This here is a 9 of Swords, which can be an indicator of someone who's experiencing a lot of nightmares, so I think this works perfect. It's kind of this nightmarish, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look good. Here we have the Ten of Swords, and again I compared it to the original. So it's very similar. Instead of the human being pierced with the swords, it's a buffalo. And the next card here I have is Death, which I think is kind of very beautiful and in its own morbid way. The Five of Cups with this kind of sad horse, which I really love. I think it's very beautiful. And I have the Eight of Cups, and again comparing it, very similar. And I like how she kept the use of the mountain here. Very nice. And then I thought I would end here with some of my favorite cards and some of my favorite designs that she's done. So my favorite tarot card is the Hermit card. This card tends to come up a lot for me in my own readings. And I like her use of the lantern resting atop the turtle shell here, or tortoise, I guess. The next one is the Three of Swords, which comes up a lot actually in my own readings. It's not necessarily a positive card, and I have it here to compare. So very similar design that she uses for this. I just think it's very beautiful with the different swords versus this one where they're all the same. And then I have here the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is kind of about feeling trapped, and I kind of like her use of the chrysalis in this one, because you could view it as yourself, you know, being trapped in that chrysalis, but at the same time we know that the chrysalis will eventually break open and a butterfly will come out, so it's kind of a feeling of hope that you get after that card. And indeed she does have a butterfly card here, which is actually the Six of Wands, so it's kind of our triumph over our adversaries, and kind of the butterfly escapes that chrysalis and kind of overcomes those issues. And then my final favorite card is the Hanged Man. So this card I just think is very clever because she used the bat, and bats, you know, sleep upside down, so it's a perfect animal to choose for the Hanged Man. So that is that for my tarot review, focusing on the symbolism here. So if you've done a video or your own kind of blog post on this deck, or any deck really just focusing on symbolism and aesthetics, I would love to see it, so definitely link it below in the comments. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye!